Everybody, welcome tonight, this Wednesday night. How is everybody doing? I am doing okay.
Hi. How are we?
How is everybody doing tonight? I am Ryan, the producer-director of Tales of Valhalla, the Aftermath Chronicles, which is a stop-motion HeroScape adventure. And we're doing a live stream for the production of that. And what I was going to say, we're on YouTube. Just go to the YouTube search bar, type Tales of Valhalla, and you'll find us there. We got seasons 1 and 2 already there. Working in the middle of working on season 3, editing season 3, so that's what we're doing with our time. And I think last time we talked, last week, I showed how I was just getting the audio ready for episode 5. And you can see right here that I got a rough portion of the voiceover audio was ready. And so now I am starting to lay down some video tracks, so we'll do that a little bit. We're going to do a little bit. I'm going to talk about something too while I do it, so I don't know how much work I'm actually going to get done while I talk, because I can't talk and do work at the same time. But we'll try. What was I going to say? And yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. And also want to show this, and my phone buzzed. Hold on. I'm going to show that. That right there is something else I'm working on too. These are voiceovers for episode 6, so I'm getting a little head start in episode 6 as well. But primarily focusing on episode 5. And yes, I gotta say, this live stream has been pre-recorded as well because my internet stinks. So I've got to pre-record this, load it online to a website that will stream for me, just stream a video for me. That's easier, so we don't break connection at all. But I do monitor the live streams, so if you want to leave a comment, say hi, I'll say hi back. And that's about as good as I can do at this moment. And what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, right. And plus, if we're still before January 26, 2022, there's a contest still going on. Go to episode 4, season 3 on YouTube. Subscribe to Tales of Valhalla YouTube channel. Like and leave a comment on the episode 4, season 3, entitled Insulting Empress. And if you do, you'll be entered into a contest prize drawing. And I'm sorry, I got a hiccup. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Got it. You'll be entered into a contest prize drawing where you win one of these pieces of TOV merch, as well as these 2 HeroScape squads. So if you're into HeroScape and you want some free miniature squads, there they are. You got Morrow Dredge, you got Einer Imperium. Win each of them, and so you go. That's the contest. Get to it, and a lot of people have already entered. I'm actually quite happy with the results of the contest so far. The people entered involved. Thank you, and yeah, it should be fun to reveal that winner pretty soon, in a couple weeks. A couple weeks. Maybe next week, actually, or it'll probably be the week after. Because yeah, next Wednesday will be the day that will be the last day for it to enter, and then I'll do drawing for that. Anyway, I digress. So tonight we'll be working on this, and here, let me just get started doing this. Let me just show you where we're at.
Jandar, it's so good to see you. Not really.
So I just gotta edit this down to where he's just moving. Fine art of that. And what was kind of difficult, and let's see. Normally I just take pieces of like the video tracks. Where are they? They're right here. But normally, like the cave ones that I animated for Jandar's cave, they're very, 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 very dark. Like I have to really pull the light a lot from this, so it takes some special stuff. In order to pull the light for it, I had literally have to lay the whole tracks down here, and then I just have to go through them and cut pieces of them and then draw them out. Usually it's not the best way to edit video on a time like this. For those of you people who know how to edit video and looking at this, yes, I understand. But this is really the only good way to do it, because if you look at, see, you can barely tell, like you can't see anything on there. I can barely see anything on there. So in order to get from this to this, I literally have to lay the whole track down and apply some effects to it, like adjust the auto color and brightness and contrast basically, and that brightens it up a little bit to where you can actually see the miniatures. So there's your coloring lesson, and my lighting lesson in the future. Like I've learned my lesson. I just didn't want to reanimate these Jandar scenes, so if I can do something with the stuff that I made, then I will, and I am. Other future cave type scenes, though, they're going to be better lighted, so hopefully don't have to worry about that in the future, so I can actually see what I'm doing. Anyway, so we're gonna start working on this, but before we do, I'm actually going to talk about, and I might do this week and next week, I'm going to talk about a question a fan of the show left me on one of our videos, and here I'm going to bring it up. And so this is the episode 4 season 3 premiere video, and there's myself and Mr. Joey Ranieri, who voices Lieutenant Dan, as well as a couple other characters in the show, and we did commentary on episode 4. Really fun live stream that was. And so we had someone leave behind a question. Let me see if I can get to it. All this. Where are the comments? There's the comments. Okay. And yeah, it's this one. Okay. So what it says here, you can see that it comes from a Mr. James, and I'm sorry if I butcher your name or your last name, James Trotta, I believe that's how you call it. And he asks, what have you learned while making TOV? Also, that's a cool hoodie. Thank you. I'm wearing the hoodie right here. I'm usually wearing the hoodie for live streams. And yes, and lots of choices for hoodies on our TOV store as well, which is, if you want to go to our merch store and help us with establishing a budget for future seasons, you go to www.cptov.store and you can buy some cool TOV merch there. But he asked me, what have I learned while making TOV? And I just want to make one important thing that I'm excited about. I think this is the first time that it's happened. But this is the first time someone outside myself and the cast and crew of this show has named Tales of Valhalla in its acronym, which is TOV. That's what we call it. That just thrills me more than anything. I'm just so happy with that. So, and I leave a reply saying so. But what have I learned? Well, I'm gonna just talk a little bit of that while I work. I mean, basically what I've learned is everything. Let's just put it that way. But here, let's just start by editing some of this, because I know I don't have a lot of time. We have less than a half hour.
Not really see you.
Okay. Right down there.
I'd really see you, but
That down.
not really see you, but
Sometimes you gotta edit around how they move to make it look better. Let's see here, I want to
Oh, but hearing you.
Pull it back a little bit more.
Oh, but hearing you.
See how far I can pull this back. Okay, that's fine.
But
Oh no, it's not fine. Okay, what I'm gonna do is... What have I learned? Well, I'll say one thing about what I have learned. The whole process of making the series, I mean, making seasons 1, 2, and 3, it's taken several years. It's taken several years to do, and I'm still working on completing season 3. Here, still completing season 3, and during these several years, professionally, when I got started and I wrote the script for season 1, especially writing the script for seasons 2 and 3, because I did that. I wrote the script for seasons 2 and 3 before I did any animating. I kind of had some ideas. I kind of had a general idea where the story was going to go. And professionally, when I wrote the script, I had no idea, literally almost hardly any idea how I was going to do a lot of the effects and stop motion work required for it. I had no clue. I had to figure it out as I was going, and I got better as time went on. You know, it's one of these things to where this has been a learning process for everything. The stop motion and when I started Tales of Valhalla, I didn't know how to do virtually 99.9% of all of it. It was literally my film school, just learning as much as I could. And so, I mean, and I'm talking about the stop motion animation, the editing, sound effects, voice acting, directing voice actors, the sound engineering, adding special effects, figuring out what works best, for stop motion, converting stop motion photos into a video format. Just all these things I had, I studied. I basically was a YouTube learner by learning from other people who've done it in different ways and then applied it to myself. So, yeah, I mean, it just took a lot of time, a lot of effort, and personally, my health for the majority of the time working on this has always been poor because of my illness, Crohn's disease. I've had in these last several years, now, including this last year, I've had 4 surgeries. I would argue 3 of them major. And like personally, my wife has had a couple of surgeries. My son was born. We have moved. 2 times, and one of those times being out of state, from one state to another. There have been times when I was working to where I had hardly any time to animate. There have been other times where we've been traveling. But on the forefront, my mindset, always on the forefront, is to do as much as I possibly could do every single day. Nearly every single day at my mind, okay, even if it's just a little bit of time, what can I do? And just keep focused. It seemed like finishing all of this seemed like an impossible thing to do. In my mind. No one's told me that, but in my mind, it's just like, it seems overwhelming. And it was overwhelming. But you know what I did? I just focused on the next photo that needed to be taken, the next animation that needed to be taken, the next piece of music that I wanted to listen to see if it would fit. Just the next step, the next step, the next step. And I just looked down at that next step, instead of the zillion steps that I had to take ahead of me, just step, 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 step. That process. Since I already kind of knew what the process was going to be, or it was literally kind of laying track as I went along as well, but I knew what step I had to take next, and I would just do that. And so, and that's how I continue. Yeah, so that's one way of putting it. Okay, let me. Anyway, like I said, I cannot talk and work at the same time. Let me see, and I need to look at my time too. Okay, we still have some time.
Oh, but here.
So that's good.
You, oh, but hearing you.
I cut it here, and this character is Moorsbane. For those of you who know the Hero Escape universe, this is Moorsbane, and it's being voice acted by a friend, and also someone who I went to broadcasting school with. His name is Ken, and wonderful guy, wonderful friend, and it was great for him to volunteer for this character, and I hope that we'll be able to work together in the future as well. Even though voice acting and media related stuff like what I do is not really what he's into now. I mean, we were in broadcasting school over 10 years ago, so it's been a while. Now, one dangerous thing too, when I animated these, I had still not learned the subtle art of doing close-ups of the characters too. I still did a lot of these and stop motion animations just in a wide shot, and because it's good to do a wide shot and close-ups, so that way if you mess up on your wide shot, you can cut to your close-ups or vice versa. And I didn't do that for this, so, or at least not enough, not what I think I could have done. So we'll see how this works. I'd rather have this way. So.
But hearing you is just as good.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, but hearing you is just as good.
That's good. Oops, what's going on? I do not need you right now. Leave me alone. Hold on. I think that's the end of it. Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to cut to another shot after this one. So.
There are many enemies.
Okay, I'm going to do this shot. So now with this shot, actually. Going to just use some, and later. I'm still thinking about the question. But I'm just trying to work at the same time, so let me ponder on it. Hang on, let me look at the time. Already still. Hold on.
Right?
It is okay, Mort.
It's good. Right?
It is okay, Moorsby. Even though I am bodiless, I feel very much alive.
Yes, unfortunately, Jandar is me, myself, and I. Hold on.
Had a similar fate as me.
Uh,
So,
That my friend Uller has had a similar fate as me.
yes, actually.
I
you'd have him move there, so hold on. So like I said, so yeah, with this scene, multiple people talking, so I just have 3 shots, and when I was looking at this, I'm like, I can't believe I only did 3 shots. So just this shot, which is basically a Jandar speaking shot, because Jandar is somehow in this space. Another shot with these guys just looking on, and then this shot, just a wide shot of them talking. So I hope my animating was really good of them talking and there's no bumps or screw-ups at all. We'll see. Like I said, this is going to take a little bit of time, and obviously we can't do all this in a half hour, and my half hour is almost up. So what else can I say? Thinking about, okay, what have I learned? Well, I'll tell you another thing that I learned real quick before ending this live stream is, and I don't know if it's learned or just obtained, is the fact that there's a lot of people within the HeroScape community, as well as just other people as well, that I wouldn't have the relationships I have today if it wasn't for making Tales of Valhalla, because there's a lot of people that have helped or continue helping doing the work. The person who voices Chemo Shi, YouTuber named Joe Crazy and MK Plus Ultra, and others. I wouldn't have the relationships people have if it wasn't for this show, and those are very valuable things to me. And so I guess that's one thing I'd say I kind of learned, is just that you network with people and get to know more people, and that's always a wonderful thing. And collaborate with people, always a wonderful thing to know and do, and it's great when more and more people, I would say, have your back, but just that you get to interact with more people, and it's a wonderful thing to do for me, because I never expected to interact with as much people, because it's literally just me animating miniatures and then working on my computer. The only interaction I have with people is when I'm doing voiceovers with them. So it's real interesting that way. But anyway, so this live stream is practically done, so I do have to do an ending for it, and hopefully I said everything I needed to say. But like I said, this is coming on. The editing's going. I'm working as hard as I can. We'll continue working, so hopefully we'll see this episode in the next 3 to 4 weeks, and then ongoing episodes as well. And yeah, we'll just see. I'll just see what I have for the show for next week. So I'm going to end these live streams like I always end these live streams by saying, for those of you who are watching this on the Tales of Valhalla YouTube page, this is an edited down version of what is almost going to be a 30-minute live stream. And if you want to see the full version of this live stream, go to our Conductor Productions YouTube page, which should be in the screen in front of you, or a link in the description below. And with that, I will bid you all good Wednesday night, everybody. Stay safe, stay well, and you have a purpose in your life. Find it, pursue it, live it. We'll see you next week.